Flying a drone is more than just capturing stunning visuals. It's about exploring new perspectives and sometimes facing unexpected challenges. Hi guys, welcome back to our drone channel. In this video I'll take you through one of my most intense drone adventures, a flight that ended with my DJI Avata 2 hitting a rock, spiraling out of control and plunging into a mountain stream. But believe me, that's not where the story ends. Let's get into it. It was a perfect autumn day in the mountains. Crisp air, golden leaves and roaring streams set the scene for some of the most exhilarating drone flights I've ever done before. My DJI Avata 2 performed like a dream, gliding through narrow gaps and low overflowing water. Every maneuver felt like pure magic, blending precision with the beauty of nature. Little did I know, this perfect day was about to take an unexpected turn. Well, the weather was a bit difficult as it was pretty windy that day. The first run at the waterfall was meant as a test flight exploring the river's course and getting a feel for the surroundings. But as I lined up for what I thought it would be the perfect and ultimate shot, a flight behind a waterfall, things didn't go as planned. Just as I was ascending beside the waterfall, a gentle gust of wind from the left caught the Avata 2, causing it to drift. I couldn't countersteer in time and tried to veer right, away from the waterfall. In the process, it clipped a rock wall. The hit sent it tumbling, and before I could react, it was in the water. You can imagine, at that moment, my heart sank. Was this the end of my DJI Avata 2? I knew I had to act fast. The stream wasn't deep, but the current was strong. I ran up the hill like Kate Bush, hoping the drone hadn't been swept onto a lower ledge of the waterfall. Luckily, it landed in a spot that was still within reach, so I waded in, grabbed the Avata 2 and immediately started assessing the damage. It looked intact, but water and electronics, that's usually a recipe for disaster. Back at our vacation rental, I immediately unpacked the soaked drone. But bear with me, without a tripod on hand, the upcoming footage might be a bit shaky. My first priority was to assess the damage. Carefully examining the DJI Avata 2, I looked for all the spots where water had seeped in. The first obvious sign was the micro SD card slot. When I opened it, water was clearly visible. I removed the card, dried it off and quickly backed up all videos and photos. It was a small relief to preserve those precious moments. Next, I grabbed a small hex key and began dismantling the propellers. This allowed me to inspect the motor coils, which were wet inside. Well, unfortunately, the propeller guard had also taken a hit during the crash, cracking under the impact. Then I carefully removed the battery from its compartment. It was drenched and, as you can see, the compartment itself was flooded with water. I gently inserted loosely crumbled tissue paper into the battery bay to absorb as much moisture as possible. For the motors, I rolled tissue into fine stripes and delicately worked them into the coils to soak up the water lodged there. The camera for sure wasn't spared either. Water had pooled behind it. I carefully slid tissue into the crevices to absorb what I could. Well, despite all my efforts, some water was too deep in the motor coils. To tackle this, I decided to detach the motors entirely from the arms using a T5H torque pin screwdriver. Once loosened, I lifted the motor slightly and used tissue to draw out the water hidden underneath. And finally, I turned my attention to the main circuit board under the top cover. With the same screwdriver, I removed the screws and gently pried the cover open. The side underneath the cover wasn't pretty encouraging. The entire board with all components was completely soaked. So one by one, I carefully dabbed it dry with tissues, working methodically to avoid damaging the hardware. Well, and that's what the DJI Avata looked like when I was done with it. I had no clue if it would work again. Honestly, I was more than concerned. So once I had addressed every visible issue, I stuffed tissue into every corner and crevice of the drone. Then I lit my fireplace and placed it above the heat to dry. For the next 24 hours it sat there, slowly shedding every drop of moisture. 24 hours later, my impatience was growing, and I thought it was finally time to reassemble the drone. These screws are incredibly small, so a magnetic screwdriver is essential to keep things manageable. To ensure the screws threaded properly, I applied gentle pressure on the motors, pressing them slightly against the drone's arms. Look, it's crucial to get the tension just right. Not too tight to avoid damage, but on the other hand, firm enough to hold the motor securely in place. I moved on to the next step, attaching the propellers. Since the motors rotate diagonally in opposite directions, mixing them up would cause the drone to malfunction. Two propellers featured small orange dots which align with the arms that also have orange markings. Well, it's as simple as matching the dots, truly a lifesaver after such an intensive repair session. With all props in place, I left the top cover open and directly inserted a battery. This, I tell you, was the first big moment of truth. As I powered on the drone, I watched closely, and it booted flawlessly with no error messages. Next came the flight test. The green status LED blinked reassuringly, confirming that everything was obviously in working order. I initiated the first liftoff and tested basic functions like cam movement and drone rotation. Every feature performed perfectly, without any sign of trouble. So finally, I removed the battery once more and turned my attention to reattaching the top cover. Carefully aligning the plastic pins, I ensured they clicked into place. As you can see, at first I didn't recognize the cover didn't sit flush at the front, as one pin hadn't fully engaged. Finally, I secured the two screws holding the top cover in place. Then I saw the pin issue, and a gentle adjustment solved the problem. With the repair complete, I inserted the battery once more, ready to see if my Avata 2 was truly airworthy. Finally, there was this moment of truth. When I powered it on, half expecting sparks, but nothing. It just worked perfectly. The Avata 2 had survived, no glitches, no malfunctions, just flawless flight performance, and I couldn't believe that. This experience taught me two things. First, the DJI Avata 2 is unbelievably resilient. Second, knowing how to handle emergencies can save your drone and your wallet. So if you ever find yourself in a similar situation, stay calm, act fast, and follow these steps. You just might be as lucky as I was. So what is the closest call you ever had with your drone? Share your story in the comments, I'm really curious. And now let's take a look at the footage I was able to capture with the drone after it had dried and been reassembled. If you enjoyed this adventure, smash that like button, share this video with your friends and subscribe to the channel for more epic drone tales. Thanks for watching, see you next time.